That's Soul Train, Nick Shin to you.
Soul Train! I became a freaking referee, man.
Dr. Tom Pritchard. Not to be confused with Dr. Tom Vowski. He's my dermatologist.
2 accents. Don't do face paint.
Jump sucker.
Yeah!
That's Soul Train, Nick Shin to you.
Soul Train!
And that's our segue for our introduction. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations. We have our executive producer, Mike, and myself, along with none other than referee extraordinaire, Nick Shin.
It's me!
I think it's our first referee in the house.
I mean, it's kind of sad that I'm your first referee. I mean, there's only like 1 million referees out there, but then again, you chose the one to be your one.
Hey,
so good to you.
You know, the people say it takes 3 to have a great match. It's not just the 2 wrestlers, it's the referee as well.
I mean, that's what they tell me, but then again, I'm in great matches, so I haven't messed up yet.
Well, let's talk about how you became a referee, because you actually trained with Kevin Knight, right, for IWF?
Yeah, I was there since 2015 as a wrestler. I started working out as a face for a while. It was pretty fun, but I was just horrific at it. Couldn't understand how to get the crowd behind me. All I knew how to do was pretty much make them hate me. And then one day he was just like, you know what? Go out there and just be yourself. I don't care. It's probably going to look bad, but just be yourself. And I went out there and I just did whatever the heck I felt. And I got a crowd reaction. They hated me, but yeah.
It's funny you saying you don't have a connection with the fans. I mean, off camera, you're like one of the most personal guys. Like, you're talking with O'Neill and Eric about Batman and things like that. I mean, it's...
when I got into the ring...
Are these fans today hard to please? You could bury the fans. Go right ahead.
You know what? Every single one of you fans I have an issue with, because you don't believe, you never believed in me as Soul Train Nick Shin. You didn't believe that I had what it takes. But you know what I did? You know what I did? You know what I did? I became a freaking referee, man. That's what I did.
Where
So, promos wasn't your shortcut, huh? Wasn't your downfall?
You know.
That you got.
Hey, we gotta have the next Charles Robinson.
Kinda.
Earl Hebner?
Kinda.
How about the first
There's a
Nick Shin?
slight difference.
See, there you go. You see, at the end of the day, I could be a Charles Robinson, I could be a Hebner, but if you don't know this, at the end of the day, you can be you, but you ain't Shin. So I'm gonna be the first Shin, and I'm gonna be the best Shin, because why the hell else not?
The last Shin?
Yeah. I don't want any other ones to run into the business.
There's
I'm taking too many stupid bumps.
There's no other Shins that we know of?
No.
Okay.
If there's any Shins out there, just tell them they can see me. I'll come back in the ring to fight another Shin just because.
Where are some of the places you've been a referee, and give us some background on how you became a referee?
Well, started refereeing at the IWF. I worked going at the IWF Independent Wrestling Federation in Nutley. There was never a whole setup of you have to do this, you have to do that, we're gonna make you do this, we're gonna make you do that. Instead, what Kevin did was he gave us opportunities and set us up. We would have those times where we're all inside. We would have those times where we're all in the ring just doing like drills and things like that. But at the same time, other times would be go outside, half the people chain, like 2 or 3 people in the ring. What I noticed was whenever there was...
One fly for the last 2 interviews that won't leave our goddamn studio.
It's a blessed fly. It does.
You know, people like to say they love to be a fly on the wall, where they are literally, there is a fly on the wall here in the GoPro Wrestling
I wish
studio.
it was just on the wall. So where was I at? Something about wrestling.
About being a referee. How did that all get started?
So what it does, he never really set anybody up with anything. He just gave us the chance. If you want to do this, do it. If not, he's not going to be on your back saying, go do this. Why aren't you doing anything? So I noticed that every time, whenever people were going into the ring, after I wrestled or after anybody was wrestling in the ring, people wouldn't want to run in and referee. Like, it would be looked down as, oh, this is boring. Oh, I'm going to do something else. And in my mind, I was always taught you take the chance. Every time you get inside of the ring is an opportunity and a blessing. That's something that I think it was Dr. Tom said in one of the seminars I went to. Every time you step in the ring is an opportunity and a blessing, so take it and give it your all. So I took that chance, even if it was just to referee. I would wrestle, referee. Nobody would want to come in, ref the next match. Nobody would want to come in, ref the next matches. Go like 3 or 4 matches in a row. Just be tired as hell in the middle of practice, but at the same time, I was learning. So let's say if wrestling didn't work out, which it kind of didn't, I still knew how to referee. I worked managing, I did ring announcing. I just learned all the positions in the back so that way I could be able to do whichever one, because I knew I'm not going to be the best wrestler, but I want to do something in wrestling.
Does that give you a newfound appreciation when you're doing all these different things, announcing, refereeing, wrestling?
Well, my thing is I haven't done announcing outside of IWF ever, but I'm never not open to it. But my main thing right now is just refereeing, because I found there's so many opportunities for a referee out there. But at the same time, there's absolutely no opportunities at all, because it's all just a handshake, a hi, how are you thing with the referees. It's like, I worked with him, I like him, bring him here. I didn't work with him, never seen him, I heard he's good, but we know a guy over there, so we're gonna bring him. It's not like wrestlers where it's just like you get your big name and everything, everybody keeps seeing you and just wants to, fans are calling for you. Fans aren't gonna call for a referee. Yeah, that's the referee we want. You gotta bring him in. I mean, I've gotten cheers and stuff when I go out, which confuses me every time, but it just happens.
The crowd ever chant "sweep it up, asshole" to you?
No, they haven't. Except there was a time where, if you ever seen the episode of SpongeBob where he had the broom, he was just like sweeping in the middle of the stage. Then Squidward went out, played his clarinet. Everybody was like, "Boo!" He came out with the broom. Everybody was like, "Yeah!" One time in the IWF, I don't know what the heck had gotten in the ring. It was like glitter or something. And I was in my wrestling gear, and we just had to sweep it out because I wasn't trying to get all that stuff on my nice white gear. So I came in with the little thing, started sweeping. Everybody's like, "Yeah, keep sweeping!" So yeah, man,
You got a nice
you didn't
pop.
call me an asshole. They actually liked it.
Ring of Honor, they could be a little harsh. I've seen the poor guy would go in a student, clean it up after a hardcore match, and they would chant that, you know.
Yeah.
Sweep it up, asshole, sweep it up.
Been wanting to go to Ring
It
of
was
Honor. Seems fun. I made friends there.
Yeah, there's good people out there. We should, we'll give them a call after this is over.
Yeah,
if you
do that
really-
for me. Yeah. Throw some names in there.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. Gary, you're watching this. You need a referee right here.
Hey!
Yeah, you're not getting hired now. What's one of the wildest crowds you've worked in front of that was just, you know?
Wildest?
Yeah,
Or-
just in general. Crazy crowd. You got there and you're like, oh, this is going to be an awesome show because this crowd is on fire.
Okay.
And what company was that for?
I will do the exact opposite.
Okay.
But it
Give
was
us the
even
opposite.
better because it was still a really fun time.
Let's do it.
So I was working for Primetime Wrestling. And
What?
Primetime Wrestling.
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
So I think we're coming back in September. It's almost September. Yeah. I'm there. I like reffing, so it doesn't matter to me.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
we had our show before Pro Wrestling Magic, and there was probably, I think, like 4 or 5 people in the crowd, not counting the Pro Wrestling Magic workers who had just come early and just decided to sit up and watch what was going down. Haven't had as much fun in the ring in a long time in front of people. Even though it was like 4 people, everybody looked and was looking out there like nobody else is showing up. No. Well, we could either do absolutely nothing or we could all just have a ball. So everything that anybody had planned was just thrown out the wall. They just had fun with it. They just went in there, did whatever. I think during the intermission, which we didn't even really need, I ended up taking a stunner from Aaron Bradley, who doesn't even work for Primetime Wrestling. He just ran up in the ring and did it.
All right.
And for some reason, it was just amazing. Then I got right back up from the stunner because, you know, stunners. Just stood back up and ref the next match and the one after that, and the one after that, and just had fun with it. It's like, you don't need a big crowd. What you really just need is the happiness level. If the wrestlers are happy working with 2, 3 guys, it doesn't really matter. We'd rather have more people, but you could do more stupidness, which ends up more fun with less people.
Right.
Makes perfect sense, actually. It's interesting. So were you always a wrestling fan? Was little Nick watching wrestling? And what was your first like memory growing up with wrestling?
My first memory of wrestling was me in the Garden State Plaza Mall with my mom. We had gone there. We were going. I don't know. They used to have this big Ferris wheel in the middle of the mall, or carousel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there used to be this carousel, and like to the side of it, they had like some old WWF stuff, and they had like Meet the Superstars. They had like 4 or 5 guys there. I can't remember anybody that was there except for Kane. And I had to be like 5, 6 years old, and I just see everybody lining up, and I'm like, Mom, what is that? You want to go meet the wrestler?
Did you cry when you met Kane the way Mike cried when he met Bret the Hitman Hart?
Well, it depends.
You didn't mark out, did you?
No. See, I was like 5 or 6, and I feel like he cried different tears, but tears that I
No, he was crying when he saw Bret
No.
Hart.
He reserved tears that he probably reserved for women, but or guys. 2018, it's cool, but you know that's a whole different.
No.
But no, I was little, and I was like, okay, all I got to do is shake his hand. I don't know why. My mom was like, just go do it, okay? Get up to him. Big mother lover. Went to shake his hand. He put his hand out, and he gave like the glove hand to put out. It just looked all big and black and scary. Okay, it looked big and leathery and scary. So I just was afraid, was like, no, I don't want to touch him, Mommy, he's scary. But then from then on, I was like, this is something that's interesting. Why was I so scared of this big man in like a mask or something? None of the other wrestlers that were there just seemed scary to me or even stood out. But something about Kane just being like the biggest guy in the mall to me as a little kid, I was like, okay, I kind of want to see more of what this scary guy does. So then I went home and started watching like everything I could find, Raw, SmackDown. It didn't matter. I just knew that something about this stuff was catching my eye in a way that nothing else did. It was like I was watching Power Rangers, but it was real. And in my mind,
Power Rangers
everything.
is not real?
Don't mess with me, bro. Don't mess with me, man.
Power Rangers is real.
Tommy is real. Power Rangers isn't. Tommy is real.
He wants to fight CM Punk.
He
In
could
a
kick
legit
CM Punk's ass.
MMA fight.
Have
You ever seen the challenges? He
Have
issues
you
challenges.
have you seen Tommy's MMA fights?
I have not. No.
They're on YouTube.
Yeah, I will.
He fights like a Power Ranger would.
Really?
Like, legitimately.
All right.
You would think that he could kick your ass, and he can.
Does he?
No, he doesn't need
He
it.
doesn't call. All right.
He's actually tatted up and muscly. It's weird.
You like that?
In my Power Rangers, yes. Yes, I do.
Kane, switching topics for a moment. Kane just became mayor in Knoxville County. What do you think of that?
That's awkward. Like, if I was in Knoxville County, like, I would really just, like, reevaluate the ballots. Like, what were we doing with ourselves? Where we
Come on now.
decided...
Jesse Ventura was governor of Minnesota.
Yes. You want to tell me some more fun Jesse Ventura stories?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, governor of California.
The Rock 2020, maybe?
Rock for 2020.
You know, I will vote for The Rock. I would
If
do
Donald
it.
Trump can make America great again, I think anybody can become a president or a governor. It's just possibilities are endless.
Rock for president, Kanye West for vice president. It sounds like a great time.
Kanye West, yeah. West 2020.
Yeah. I'll only do West for vice president, though. You can't have a full presidency, because that means that Kim Kardashian's like our first lady, and I think there's rules that she's already broken. I'd watch her break some more, but that's a whole other interview.
No, please, go on.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I can't say that in front of people like him. He'd be offended.
People like me. What's that?
2018.
We are gonna get bombarded with comments right now.
I used to like this guy.
This referee right here is bashing white people. Here's your chance right now.
What you got out of that?
Here's your chance to fix that, Nick.
I love all people. I love all people except for orange people. Like pure orange. I just hate that.
So Donald Trump.
I didn't say that specifically because I honestly didn't pay any taxes on the ref money that I get. So orange people with hair pieces, I specifically have a thing against.
All right.
I'm not saying any names because those $20 they give me add up.
Next thing you know, you have some
Hey,
taxes.
hey!
Usually when you're refereeing throughout the night, are there other referees there, like to pick it up? Like usually, how many referees do you work with on a nightly basis? And you guys rotate, if there is.
It really depends on the show, and the odd thing about referees is nobody seems to remember to book them on shows.
What?
Like,
All right, tell us a story.
Okay.
Go ahead. What's the event? Company. Drop it.
I'm not doing all that. You see, everybody seems to think that one referee.
No, you can
is
mention a
just
company.
enough.
We're not like burying a company. This is just something.
Oh
like,
no. You see,
it's
if
fun.
I mention them, then my brain is just gonna say kill them, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not that guy. I'm a nice Soul Train.
All right, so you could tell us off air. What was the story? But
They
without
give work
mentioning,
for these people, but
So
it's
when you were
okay.
at ECPW and they didn't have any referees,
Well, they do have referees. The
they
problem
have,
is
there's a really
that,
good one they got. I can't remember his name offhand.
but the problem is that the referee that they have, he also wants to wrestle. So when I went there, like I was refereeing and went the whole show and stuff, and then like he went half of it, but he was also wrestling the other half of the show, and I was like, your video's continuity is going to be really awkward because he looks like himself when he's reffing as when he's wrestling. There's no clear difference.
except when he breaks the fangs out.
That's a whole nother person.
Yeah, that was a whole other one.
That's a whole.
Yeah,
nother
I was talking about he raps. What's his name? Brian. Yeah, like I like Brian Kuso. Is that
Oh.
one? Yeah, like
Brian.
You were giving me a layup to
stole
bury
our mic.
plasma. Now I can't bury plasma.
How do you do that?
No, I like
Can't
plasma.
bury
He's
him.
already
He's in
undead.
Yeah, there you go.
Ah.
You know who we can bury? The Dark Oracle Sage. Dark Oracle Sage, you know what? You suck. You suck so bad. I hate you. And I only say that because he was like my first like 5-6 matches in a row at the IWF, and I never beat him. Like 3 years in a row, I think I've wrestled him on shows at least 20 times. I couldn't get one win against him. Just one?
I beat him before.
I'm sure you
In the
have.
parking lot.
No, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's okay because you know what? At the end of the day, you can be you, but you ain't Shin. Underfaker.
And you have not connected with fans early on in your career? You gotta be kidding me.
How long did you wrestle for?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
And nothing.
I
You
mean,
don't- you
kinda.
didn't-
Like,
Maybe being a
My thing
babyface
was-
isn't your forte. This is a
Well-
little bit heel. Maybe you should be,
Did you
Well,
try?
that's
with
what I was
spitting
gonna
on
do.
babies and kicking
well,
kids.
no, I was the last 2 years of my wrestling. I was straight heel. Couldn't go babyface at all. But it just
Were you working more than one company though? Or just,
no, just IWF. Because my thing was
Maybe that was why. I don't know,
Kinda,
like if you
but-
got out, like you think if you got out more, maybe you could have honed the craft a little bit more, working with different guys, different crowds, different locations.
possibly, but
You didn't want to.
yeah, and physically I am trash. Like
You know, come on.
no. Like me in the ring, it's like if it wasn't for the fact that I knew how to talk to a crowd, it would be the worst thing ever.
You said you
I
did
will-
manager stuff though. What
Huh?
about that? You were a manager as well.
Yeah.
How'd you like that? Because I could see
That was
you with
amazing.
the.
That
So
was
why not pursue that more?
Because being a manager for people sucks.
Okay, how so?
Because half the time you have people that won't do the spots right, or will think of manager spots, but then won't get the referee's attention, or they'll have a referee in the match who won't know to look the opposite direction. You'll have people who will call for spots for the manager when when they're not supposed to have a manager spot.
There's a word for that.
Not
Asshole.
being able to work.
Asshole.
I like assholes.
Have you ever ran into Darren Young, like while you were working in IWF? I mean, he's a guy that really, has made Kevin Knight proud, wrestling in WWE for a lot of years, part of the Primetime Players.
A couple times. In the first week there, he was there that Friday, which was pretty cool. The day after that, we had Sean Bennett, who's a referee in the WWE, come as well. And just talking with people like that, just throughout like my budding career, you may say, really helped set it off, because it was like seeing Darren Young come in. He was just like, this was before, when he first came into the IWF just to come and like visit with the students and everything. It was before he came out as gay, or like publicly came out as gay. So what it was, I just saw this as, oh, that's like me, a black guy who's making it in the business and who's doing what he wants to. That's so cool. So then, like, I saw throughout, like, as he's growing in his career and everything, I'm like, yo, this dude is getting in shape. He is getting buff. So for a while, I was, like, hitting the gym 24/7, trying to get big like him. Then one day, I was just like, why? Like, I looked at other wrestlers, and I was like, these fat guys are making a lot more than me.
And Shaw went through NXT as well. I mean, they have a developmental in NXT for referees as well, not just the wrestlers.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Have you ever gone there?
Have you ever
No,
tried?
I've applied.
You've applied? Okay.
I've applied. Sent that application. Hi, Vince.
Did you
Vince
guys send him a
doesn't
tape or
see the
anything?
I don't think Vince sees it.
You know, you
What,
never
this?
know.
No,
Vince
no.
watch- I was gonna say, Vince watches this.
The videos for NXT when they come in. I'm sure, like, if eventually, I'm not there, so I don't know. But I'm sure guys like Adam Pearce, Triple H, guys like that, they're the ones that probably sees it. Hopefully. So I mean, maybe you should keep trying. Be persistent.
I mean,
Annoy the hell out of them.
Keep sending them. That's what.
I send that new application once a month. I ain't playing.
So Triple H.
You want to bury Triple H right now at all?
I've also
No.
sent, you want to get buried? I've sent emails to Impact too.
Oh no.
I've also
You did
sent emails to Ring of Honor.
Oh no. He did it. Well, Sage. He works with Ring of Honor. He went to their camp. Now,
I was proud as heck. when I saw it.
we went to an ROH show and he's standing there and I'm like, what is he doing? Next thing I know, he's like running to the ring and he's grabbing the guys' jackets and
Yeah.
bringing them back. And I'm like, how did Sage get this role? And
Because
we
he's
pulled him to the
persistent
side.
and he's
He is.
everywhere.
He is
He is like
everywhere,
at
and
every
hopefully we get him
camp
on
they
here.
have. You should have told me. I would have just told him to drag himself
Oh
over.
well, we gotta
Like
work
every camp they have, you always see Sage
on it. Yeah,
somewhere.
he says that he goes to all the camps.
You mentioned you went to a seminar with Dr. Tom Pritchard. Not to be confused with Dr. Tom Vowski, he's my dermatologist. But Dr. Tom Pritchard. Dr. Tom Pritchard gave you some great advice. What other... hey, you know, I just didn't want people to get confused with the two Dr. Toms, you know what I mean? But shout out to Dr. Tom Pritchard. Dr. Tom Pritchard, that stuck out in your head. Was there any other seminars that you could think of? I'm trying to ask a serious question. Sage goes to a lot of these seminars. You saw the one with Dr. Tom Pritchard.
That was when we were at IWF. Dr.
Right.
Tom would come once a year. He would go through drills with us. He would go through matches and things like that. But the great thing about when Dr. Tom was there... this is very unprofessional, guys. I am just saying,
this is ridiculous.
This is hurtful towards my time. And
Yes, this is ridiculous.
I'm reclaiming my time, okay? Time's up, people. Time's up. Okay?
But tell us, Dr. Tom Pritchard.
It's bad. It's bad.
We use that Kleenex so somebody's gonna cry on the show.
He's
If you have a sad,
he's the only crying
thank you,
one.
Sam. If you have a sad story and you like to come to the Go Pro Wrestling studio and want to cry, hey, we love a good sob story.
You know why he needs the tissues, right? 2018. It's okay, brother.
I am a happily married man. All right.
Hey, it's legal in
If
New
you're-
Jersey.
We'll talk after this.
Wait, why do you want to talk to me after the show?
Because it can't be seen on camera. It's not legal in 18 states. Go.
So, Dr. Tom Pritchard, you went to a seminar.
Make
and
sure you drink all of that, okay?
What? Oh boy, you really got Mike mad now.
I might need a dermatologist now.
Hey, if you got alopecia like me, you could.
He's got
I'll
Dr.
get you in.
Tom's
Brother.
Goofy,
No,
whatever
you don't
his
have
name
alopecia. You have
I don't-
alopecia too?
No, I just got a bald spot.
No, maybe it's. You're my alopecia brother. We'll talk after this. I got you. I
But
got
mine
you.
came from real things.
No,
Like
it's-
life.
No, that's not life. It's all right. It comes and goes. It's a lack of vitamin
Where
D
is this
deficiency.
interview going?
What happens
You
with
know
al-
what? It's
It's not an
listen,
interview, it's a
This is
conversation.
What happens with
Shit
alopecia?
conversation.
This is a
What happens with
conversation.
alopecia is the hair follicles are weak. So what happens is, you may need to get a couple shots of steroid. They come in.
Do you or
they
someone
come
you
in.
know have alopecia?
But if you have alopecia, contact
Somebody
me.
you
I
know
got
has
you. I
alopecia.
know. Don't
You
worry.
you can contact Dr. Tom. Vaginal discourse. What was it? What was his name?
Vorsky.
What?
Vorsky.
Vorsky?
Tom
Yeah.
Vorsky.
Tom Vorsky.
Dr. Tom Vorsky. The
Holy
man who will
crap.
put needles in your head. And what the hell is that?
I'm trying
In
to.
your
s-
head.
Holy crap.
Your head, not roids.
I'm trying to. I'm pushing it up. You know what I mean?
Yup.
Anyhow, Dr. Tom Pritchard. We're gonna say. I think we're gonna start a drinking game called Dr. Tom Pritchard. And every time we say Dr.
Every
Tom
time.
Pritchard, somebody's gonna have a
No,
drink.
just a Dr. Tom, because there seems to be multiples. All right, so.
You mentioned Sage,
did?
great friend of GoPro
I
Wrestling.
did? Yeah, you did.
Seriously though,
You had a promo on
a lot of guys seem.
I did.
It seems like a lot of guys don't go to seminars or they don't really put in the effort. Like, you go to a lot of these seminars, correct? Talk about some of the seminars that you've went to.
The last seminar I went to was with Cheeseburger in New South Wrestling in Alabama, which
wow.
was cool as hell. It was my first long distance wrestling trip. And the great thing about that was the guy who was doing the seminar at Cheeseburger is also the guy who I rode down to Alabama with. So it was just an experience because as little as Cheeseburger is, as small as he is, he can work any style, work with the big guys, the small
Absolutely.
guys, and he has great psychology behind everything he did. And I also got to ref him 2 times because it was a 2-day tour. Actually, 3 times because it was a 2-day tournament, the Hoss tournament they have.
Okay.
And it was just a great experience because I ended up learning a lot of things. I ended up helping my own self on different ways of psychology, different ways that they view things, and different ways that he does things compared to other places just because he works at Ring of Honor. So he was able to give me a perspective on maybe if you do something like this, they'll see it better like that. They have cameras over here, so you want to move like this. Even though he's not a referee, he was able to tell me things about a referee.
Okay, I was going to ask how does the seminars work? Because obviously the majority of the people going to the seminars are probably wrestlers.
Yeah, but at the same
So-
time, even though it's a wrestling seminar, I'll still work with the wrestlers like I am a wrestler because at the end of the day, a great referee, even if he can't physically wrestle, he has to know the psychology and how to wrestle. Because if you don't, then people will be doing all these kind of crazy things. You might see him running one way. Okay, I see that he's putting his hand right behind him. He's about to reverse it. Let me get the heck out of this corner because he's about to swing him into it. So if I do it right at the last minute or I do it too early, then it's like people will see, oh, okay, he's moving out the way, so he's going to throw him that way. If I wait too long, the guy might have to change his speed and mess with his time. So it just helps on timing going to these different seminars and just working with different people all around.
So you went down with Cheeseburger, you said? Are you guys, did you know him beforehand? Are you guys friends?
Not at all.
Close? You just,
Nope.
hey, you driving down, let's drive down together? Or
One of my friends, Big Money Juan Vargas, he had
Okay.
hit me
Yeah,
up
Juan
on
Vargas.
he hit me up on Facebook and was like, they saw some kind of post or something saying that they needed a referee to go down to New South Wrestling with them, and he was just they think a day or two before that, he was like, I'm always asking you to go places and you never go with me. And I was like, it's because it never seems like anything I actually want to do. No offense, Juan. I love you. F you, Juan. So, what was I saying? Yeah, something about New South. So I end up getting up with all of them. End up meeting them at the old Ring of Honor training school in Pennsylvania, Bristol, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It was my first time there. I was scared as all heck because I'm looking around when I go into the school, like the Ring of Honor training place, and there's just all these Ring of Honor talent, and I'm just like probably 2-3 months into me reffing full time, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna suck. So then they start like their regular training while everybody else is getting there, the guys who are going to Alabama. I'm like, yo, can I hop in on a match? Okay, I hop in. Ring of Honor guys whose names I can't remember, which sucks. But doing all their stuff and just reffing with them, they're like, oh, pretty good, pretty good. I'll get ready to go. Because I forgot, we about to do like a 6-7 hour drive down to Alabama. It was cool.
Did you ever try for a Ring of Honor seminar? Like, obviously just trying to get in refereeing, not wrestling.
Not
Ever
yet.
think of it?
I've seen places and I've seen like the post for it. I've gotten an invite and everything, but I want to give myself a year back into refereeing, like full time, before I do anything or really push at all. I'll send out the little application emails. He's gonna drink that later.
I'm not gonna drink it now.
So I still send out the little application emails just in case you get that. Yeah, we want to hire you. Then I'll take it, but I want to perfect my craft back at refereeing like I had it when I was doing full time with the IWF, because then I was literally in the ring every single day of my life, either refereeing, wrestling. I want to build up that same stamina, so I've been going back to the gym trying to push myself harder, like as if I'm trying to get into the ring, but trying to build up my stamina twice as much just to referee, because I found that I really enjoy it, so I just want to keep pushing with it.
And it's a benefit, because if you're wrestling and training to be a wrestler, taking bumps, I mean, it's not easy. I mean, and if you have that background, it could help your career, would you say, for refereeing?
Oh, definitely. Let's see, on Saturday at High Intensity 7 was one of the coolest moments of my life, where I got to take a bump. And I went through a door after being kicked in the stomach by Anthony Gangone in a no ropes match with Amazing Red. And as I was doing, like midway as he was kicking me, like everything went in slow motion. I just saw the foot coming towards my stomach, and I like do a quick look back, make sure the door thing is set up halfway across between the ring and the guardrail, and I'm thinking to myself, I suck at bumps. If I do this wrong, I'm gonna die. He kicked me and I just flew back, took a perfect bump. Never took that great of a bump in my life. Didn't hit my elbows, didn't hit my head.
Was that son of a bitch disqualified?
Oh, no, it was a no ropes match.
Oh.
So it was allotted. Referee, there was actually 3 refs in that match.
You reap what you rope.
But
like
there was
that?
no ropes.
Yeah, there's no ropes, yeah. Moving on. I was trying to make it's okay.
Maybe he deserves to be behind the camera.
So mean.
Don't lean next to me. 2018.
Talk about some other ref bumps, or like, have you had a lot of ref bumps in your career?
You know what's weird? I dance more than I bump.
Dance.
Yes, I dance. I get drawn into dancing, oddly, at almost every show that I do. Doesn't make any sense, but there's usually a spot where I end up just letting loose and just going with the flow, which somehow opens up. See, House of Glory, I ended up dancing with Private Party for a couple seconds in the middle of a tag match. They just had music playing, and they're the Private Party. Why the hell not dance? For that, I had done Now You Create. I had danced in the middle with Hot Dog for a couple seconds. Pro Wrestling Magic, I was dancing with Hot Dog. Yeah, I just dance a lot. That's what I do.
Nice.
Yeah. You dance?
Like,
Sometimes.
He wants to dance with you.
nah.
I've danced at
You
his
dance
wedding.
with
I've
me?
danced at his wedding, but kind of by the corner.
It's 2018.
I know.
Eric's getting jealous over here.
You ever-
Hey.
he's a Batman guy.
Don't make fun of my son.
Anytime you ever got chewed out by a promoter, you don't have to mention names for like maybe the timing was off, because usually wrestlers are not the first ones that are gonna get blamed for something. Usually it could be a referee or something. You ever experience that?
Actually, like 2 months ago, when I first started reffing at House of Glory, what it was, he said I was being too active. It was Brian Excel. He's like their head guy at House of Glory. So he explained to me that I was being too active. He said, what you're doing is you're reffing like you're at a house show.
Okay.
And at first I didn't understand it. I took it, and I just started thinking to myself, what in the heck does that mean? What's house show reffing? And then I started looking things up, YouTubing, Googling everything I could, and I was like, okay, I do understand what he means. After I watched back some of my matches that I had reffed there, I was like, okay, I'm way too active for this environment. So with them, they try and do everything as if it's like TV wrestling, studio wrestling, which means I more so need to be seen even less, heard even less. They still want me to be my regular loud counting self.
I love that.
But in general, I'm usually trying to get, I'm not trying to, but I'm in the action, in the way kind of, with the way they have their cameras and everything set up TV style. I needed to be more out the way, so it wasn't more so a chewing out, but a, hey, do this right or don't come back. And I've been back every time.
So you figured it out.
Yeah. So right now you're training to wrestle. Is that your plan right now, or
No.
you just want to do refereeing full time?
I just want to ref. I found that I actually have so much fun refereeing, and also I'm in main events that I wouldn't be in if I was wrestling. Like my first night at House of Glory was, I ended up being the second referee after the first one got beaten up, between Low Key and Amazing Red, both guys that I grew up watching on TV. And that's my first night there helping with the main event, and I'm like, yo, if I was a wrestler, I would not be in this situation. I think the match before that was the LAX versus the Private Party. And just, again, people who I could watch on TV, but instead just got put in situations with where as a wrestler, I know I wouldn't be there yet. But as a referee, I've worked my way up to where they could say, okay, we could put him in there.
Is there an independent company that you still want to get work with and that you haven't?
Oh, a bunch.
Who?
Let's see. Pretty much anything that I haven't worked with. I want to do Warriors of Wrestling because my little brother Justin Adams is there. If anybody's out there, first class Justin Adams, part of this tag team, Midnight Classics, with Chris Romano. I don't know I honestly don't know his partner's name, but I know Justin Adams, and I have fought that little guy tooth and nail for like.
He beat you every time too.
Yeah, except during the Dr. Tom seminar. That was the one time I beat him, and it was for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. That's right, I won a belt before, and then I lost it the next week.
Say you won at least. Do you ever referee one of your brother's matches?
That's not really his brother.
Well, he's not really my brother. Justin Adams is a little Jewish kid.
Or just, you know?
But
Is he related to Eric?
he might be. He kind of looks like him, except his hair is a lot more beautiful.
Eric's or your?
No, Justin Adams.
Okay,
Justin
all right.
is like long, flowy.
So it doesn't look like Tom Cruise like that,
No.
or Brad Pitt over there, no?
That's like Tom took a cruise.
That's already 3 years old.
He took a couple cruises. But no, I actually recently ref Justin at Pro Wrestling Magic. He just totally got destroyed by Adam Payne. It was hilarious. He got thrown up really high, good spine buster, choke slam. Then towards the end of the match, they wanted him to get picked up and like hit again. So I had my headphones in my ear. All I'm hearing is, Nick, tell him to choke slam him again. Nick, tell him to choke slam him again. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell him to do it again. So I go over, hey, hit him again. So he's down. He's like, all right, match is done. I figure Adam's gonna get this heat. Pick him up, slams him again. Crowd is like, one more time, one more time. In my mind, in my headphones, they're not saying anything. They're quiet. So he's looking at me. Adam looks at me. He's like, should I do it again? What are they saying? Do it again. They said do it again. They said this time make it a bigger one. So he grabs Justin and he picks him up as high as he can. And Adam Payne is a big dude.
I see it.
Slams him all the way down. I just start laughing. I lean over into him. Are you okay? Laughing in his face. Yeah, it was great. So yeah, it's what happens when you ref your friends.
He's gonna get you back now. Ribs are rapid on the independent scene.
It depends, cause some guys are cool, some guys you just don't want to rib. Like
Who should I walk into a locker room and not rib?
Whose bag is O'Neal gonna take a shit in?
Well, you see, I wouldn't do that because in order to do that, I need to have it's too much preparation. I need to have toilet tissue ready and hand sanitizer and what if I'm in the middle of when I'm reffing, I wear compression shorts under my pants. So what if I have my compression shorts? I can't just pull those right back up after I doo-dooed in somebody's bag. It's gonna smudge. You wouldn't want that, would you?
No, I would not.
Exactly, me neither.
Talk about some of your favorite memories as a referee, like maybe top 3 matches so far.
Let's see, top 3 matches.
So you've got to ref though. I think
Well, it would be this the no ropes match with between Red and Gangone. Being able to be a part of that was something special because I had never seen them put their lives on the line so much. I've never had a crowd that big around me, and I've never seen the people into something so heavy. Something like that, it was every single person, nobody was looking into their phones. People weren't even trying to Snapchat and video it and Instagram and everything. It was more so people were just so into the action where their eyes were just glued to everything that was happening.
that's good.
Something like that, I just couldn't fathom that I would be a part of something like that. When I even heard the match mentioned, originally I was like, oh, that would be cool. But I know they're not putting me in that match. Let's see, another one. A primetime match where I first, I've constantly worked indie shows with Tommy Dreamer, but I never got to work with him. It would be the most random situations. For my first Pro Wrestling Magic show, I didn't know who was gonna be on it or anything. Then I'm standing at the door wondering if that's where I'm supposed to go in through the side. And then he just taps on my shoulder. Hey, I remember you from IWF. You here tonight? I'm just reffing. I was like, oh, nice. He just went in, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, Tommy Dreamer remembers me. That's freaking awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Then,
Do you always carry your gear with you in the event? If you went to a show and they say, hey, we need a referee, you're there to... You never know in this business, right?
I have my gear in my car right now. I have my gear. I have my referee gear, which consists of me having 2 referee shirts, 2 pairs of black pants, 2 pairs of black socks, and 2 pairs of compression shorts. I don't wear all of that at once, but I always keep an extra because I've sweat through things before. You never know what you're going to fall on. You don't know who's going to throw up a bunch of glitter. It's going to ruin or just get all over your junk where you don't want to wear your clothes anymore. Also keep some nice fancy white pants for when I'm managing. I keep a shiny yellow vest. I have 3 singlets, my boots.
How big is your car?
It's all in one bag.
One bag.
Yeah.
Very mobile.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened? Like you mentioned Tommy Dreamer. Has that ever been put, to the test, you know, I would say if you have all your gear and they say, hey, we need a referee tonight, and hey, I got my stuff, let's go.
Yeah, that's what happened to me at ECPW. I was just going there just to hang out. Hey, and then who was it? Was it Corey? Maybe it was Corey Dillinger. One of the guys there saw me and was like, "Hey, he refs, put him on the show," and yeah, I did it once, no, twice.
Twice, is it?
Yeah, it wasn't. It's nothing against I love all the talent there, but it's just too much work for me to just be with too much work without reward for me. Like everything I do, I don't care about the money in wrestling, but I want to see that this is worth it for me. I don't want to just be wrestling in front of the same, or reffing in front of the same 5-10 people for nothing, or just to be buried on, or be put in matches where things aren't going to be done correct, in which case maybe a manager won't be paying attention, or a manager is going to join in the middle of the match for no reason when they're not supposed to, and I can't disqualify him because then I'd ruin the match.
You mentioned that just moments ago. Like, give us an example that you saw that, like that you came across.
Okay, so I'm working a tag match. There's this manager girl. She's out there doing whatever manager girls do, being a heel, and I'm prettier than all of you. Look at me.
Is this at ECPW?
I don't know. So,
Blonde?
I told you I don't know.
He doesn't know. Go ahead.
I wear glasses.
We want a good story.
Wink
Go
for
right ahead.
blonde.
I wear glasses, okay? I don't know the difference between colors, all right? I don't see colors. He is as white as he is.
No.
Yes.
But okay.
No colors. So, well, see, you're
Strike-
messing up my story.
Strike lives matter. Go.
Exactly. You're messing up my story, though, man. Gosh, unprofessional GoPro people. It's so not nice. So as I
Hey,
was
you tweeted us that we need to have you on the show.
exactly, I thought that it would be nice. I thought I was gonna make friends.
You didn't make friends here?
No, you guys have
Eric
been-
likes you. Sam likes you. O'Neal like.
I
no,
like.
well,
I
don't know
only
if
like
Mo
the
likes
people.
you, but
I like the people behind the camera more than I like the people in front of it. I don't know why. But, you know, it's okay.
I guess that's my cue to go.
That's our cue.
Call up Dr. Tom, man. Call up Dr.
I
Tom.
may need another shot for this alopecia.
All right, go ahead, go
Stressing
ahead.
me out here.
All right,
Go ahead,
so
tell us the story.
in the middle of the tag match, out of nowhere, she keeps getting up onto the apron, like consistently, at the wrong spots. Maybe like 2 minutes into the shine, she's getting up on the apron, and everybody's just looking, and I just go over to her. Hey, you got to get down from here. What the fuck are you doing? Hey, come on now. You get the fuck down. What are you doing? Hey, come on now. I need you. Hey, 1, 2. What the hell? Get the hell down. 3, 4. I'm like, at 4, why are you still up here? What do I do at 5? Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I get to 5, that's a disqualification. So I see the guys running and doing spots and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I know how to do this. I'm going to get in the way of them doing their spots because she won't go down. So then they ended up going the opposite direction and running the ropes, and then she came down.
It's amazing that you had the foresight to see that ahead, because a lot of referees, if they are inexperienced, they'll just botch the entire match, and it's just going to look bad, and then they're going to get blamed.
Yeah, but from my understanding in WWE, if they count
in
to
WWE,
three, they count to 3.
No.
If you don't
If
kick
it was,
out,
if I was in
disqualification.
WWE, I would have just DQ'd the whole thing right there.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, with a show like ECPW, I wonder, like, damn you! I didn't say that. With a
Yeah.
show like someplace, like, I wouldn't want to just kill their match because at the same time they're independent wrestlers.
You're not
It's not
burying
their
your company. It's not. You're not.
That's not,
No.
you're really
You're not saying
I mean, most
anything
people
wrong.
have said it. We probably criticized it that night to Gino. We probably were like, Gino, what the hell is happening there?
And Gino's
we don't know-
receptive.
and
You went
Gino's-
to him and said, "Hey, I'm trying to
yeah,
referee this
yeah,
match."
Gino's-
Believe me, Gino would take you to the locker room and tell that person, "Hey, don't do that. You're gonna mess up the match."
That's our experience. at
It's
least.
not a, you know.
I don't know what experience you've had with him, but why would you look like you had a different experience?
Stripe lives matter.
Stripe lives matter.
Stripe lives matter. You can be you, but you ain't Shin.
So what's the top 3 things a referee that you've learned that you would teach on to new referees or aspiring referees?
See, the top 3 things for any referee: know the rules. Know the rules for any match you're getting into. Like, figure out if it's a lucha style tag match, if it's a tornado tag match, if it's a no rules tag match. Because oddly, every single one of those, which sound like they should be the same, are all different. And I didn't know that. I repped a lucha tag match, and they were like, I was like, hey, you got to get out of here. But then they explained to me that when two new guys get in the ring, if there's just 2 of them, they become the legal guy without tags. It was confusing as heck. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Me neither.
That's interesting. Okay.
Let's see. Know the rules. If you don't know, if you can't remember anything in the match, like anything that's supposed to happen, try and remember the 2 points, the double down and the finish. If you can't remember what move comes before the finish, know what the finish is. Know the double down. If you can't figure out what the double down is, when they're both down. Right then is the main part where you to figure out what the heck's going on. I think like one of the most important parts of the match, the third thing is work during the double down. During the double down, you could either be the guy who just stands in the middle. 1, 2, 3. And then everybody is just like, okay, he's doing that. Or you could be the guy going and checking the wrestlers in the double down, actually making sure they're okay. And when you're going to check them, it's giving them like an extra 2 or 3 seconds between each count. 1, hey, you all right there? 2, check on this dude, you okay? What I'm also doing is going between them, hey, you know your comeback's coming up. 2, hey, do you have anything he needs to do? 3, what do you need him to block? 4, okay, he's gonna hit you with that. 5, okay, check out for this. And now I'm also remembering and figuring out, okay, I forgot the rest of the match, but that's what's gonna happen, it's gonna lead to that. There's so much more that a referee can do than just sit inside the ring and just stand there and count. Like, we can actually be a huge part of the match, even if it's just helping with spots, reminding people, time cues, things like that.
Have you ever went into a match and not known the finish? Like, they purposely they wanted you to be surprised?
Remember when you guys went to the ECPW show when I was there?
Mm-hmm.
I knew no finishes. I knew absolutely nothing. That was the night where I worked the whole show. I just went in the back. Midway, I would be like asking them, like when checking them, hey, what's your finish? Hey, how's this match ending? And it was just, because it was too much for me to go to each person, and I thought that there was another ref with me, but there wasn't, so yeah. Going in, but personally, I enjoy going in without knowing the finishes, because at the end of the day, if I don't know the finish, I'm making the finish. If I get to 3, that's it, it's a dub for it.
So you mentioned knowing the rules is one of the main things that people should. Going back, you said you met Kane, and that was one of your first memories of wrestling. Did you, from that point on, follow wrestling until this very day, or was there like a dry period where most people cut off, you know, that 2005 to like 10 was really,
When SmackDown came on to UPN, it was the greatest moment of my life, because right around that time, my mom had gotten breast cancer, so money had started getting tight in the house. So it was, we could lose a lot of things, or we could just kill off cable. Bump it, who needs cable? Me, I want to watch Raw. Oh my gosh, UPN, the channel I watch, because it has all the black things on it, like Sister, Sister, and Girlfriends. I love Girlfriends. Bring back the final season of Girlfriends. Okay, back to what I was saying. So,
What about the Wayans brothers? What about, you didn't watch that one either? That was on WB.
No.
That was on WB.
Nah, but Girlfriends ended like it's such an odd pivotal point in the show. It was like I wanted to know, like, did the chick get married? Did the other chick like start a singing career? What happened? The other one got into a divorce. It was awkward.
They left it up to your imagination. They do that to a lot of shows.
No. They just killed it off. Girlfriends, greatest show ever. They need to bring it back. That's pretty much it. So SmackDown started coming on UPN, and I didn't have to stop watching wrestling then, just because my mom was like, when she started getting cancer, a lot of things mentally were changing for me. I wasn't quite sure what I was dealing with my mom, but wrestling was always that constant. Or it was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know somehow, some way, the good guy is going to win and things are going to work out in my wrestling world at least. So when life was going down, wrestling was always just, it was there for me. Almost as if like that little confidant where I could just sit, be to myself, and nobody was going to bother me while I'm watching wrestling. Everybody in my house knew, okay, Nick wants to use the TV for just wrestling. I'm not a big TV watcher in general, so let him just watch that.
Was it WWE or was it TNA or what were you just wrestling in general? Obviously
Mostly
you said
WWE.
UPN, but I mean,
Mostly
WCW.
WWE.
You didn't watch much WCW.
it was, probably
I wasn't
there.
WCW. Even when I did have cable and stuff, WCW just never stood out to
It
me.
didn't for me either, to be honest.
Like, there was one thing they had the video game on the N64, the WCW
World
one.
Tour?
Whichever
or
one.
WCW versus NWO.
I don't honestly remember which one it was, but it was pretty fun.
They
That's
were,
what I loved about WCW. And
were.
I used to pick Goldberg all the time because I thought that was Stone Cold.
Is there a wrestling match that stands out to you from that time? That you saw that match and you're like, damn, I gotta get in this business.
A lot later on, but it was The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. It was the one where The Undertaker had his hand broken. I forget what the whole situation was, but some reason they were in front of some chain link fence thing, and I think Brock Lesnar just had had a fire extinguisher, and then somehow Undertaker's hand got stuck in the chain link, and then he broke his hand with the fire extinguisher. And then they went through Hell in a Cell, and it was just like an amazing match where the whole time the story was, I'm gonna work his hand because his hand is broken. Oh, it's not working because he's Undertaker, and something about that was just like, it was just amazing to me because I really believed that this man's hand was broken. And for some reason it didn't hurt him because he was the American badass who was undead but not undead because undead people don't ride motorcycles, but he was still Undertaker. Made no sense, but I loved it.
Is he one of your favorites, or who's the wrestler that stands out for you?
Favorite wrestler, like watching wise, was The Rock. Favorite wrestler when I started getting into wrestling, learning wise, was Johnny Saint.
Okay.
Like, I could watch any Johnny Saint match and learn a new move that, with absolutely no physical capabilities, you could pull off and make look amazing. And the way that he would get them, like, he would consistently put in these different weird holds. He would have these awkward, like, stops and lulls in the match. But the crowd would react to, we would give the crowd a great time to react. And it would also just set up some great awkward looking weird submission that wasn't hard to put somebody in at all.
Gotcha. So, I mean, briefly mentioned your mother, but is your family supportive of you in wrestling, or are they like, get a real job, get out of that business?
Half and half.
Okay.
I think that my grandma thinks it's real, like really real.
Most grandmas do.
But I've tried explaining it to her, like the night I went through the door thing at House of Glory.
She was there?
No, I showed her the video that night, and I'm just like looking passed out and dead because I'm through a door. Oh my gosh, Nicholas, what happened to you? We need to take you to the hospital. You okay? No, Grandma, I died right there. You see me dead? What are we gonna do? We need to get you to the doctor? No, Grandma, I'm fine. But your back! Yeah, Grandma, I broke my spine when I went through it. Hey, is your stomach okay? Lifting my shirt. What happened? He kicked you right in your stomach. I know, Grandma. When he kicked me in my stomach was bleeding. I couldn't eat right. How did all this happen? Well, yeah, it was like a couple hours ago, actually, Grandma.
So you're just taunting her, basically.
Kind of.
You
She
were
kind of
working it.
gets
You're
it.
working it, all
But
right.
then with my mom, too, she was like, I showed her the video, and she kind of understands it.
Okay.
You had to hurt yourself. Don't lie to me. Don't you lie to me. You were hurt. You were so hurt. I know you were. You didn't want to tell me. You probably went to the doctor and didn't even tell me. I'm going to check the insurance. I know there's an extra bill on there. Like, no, I was pretty good.
You ever watch any wrestling programming today, looking for spots, like watching the referee instead of watching the two wrestlers?
I do that all the time. Yeah, it's annoying now. Like, sometimes I'll watch things and I'll see the worst is when I'm watching a referee who's doing a really piss poor job, because it makes me upset. Like, when I go to random indie shows sometimes just for the hell of it, just because I'll be bored and I'm like, I like wrestling, but I don't want to go with people, and I'll like go in the back or wear a hoodie or something because I don't want to see anybody. Like, I like being by myself, but I like wrestling, so I'll go and chill and I'll be looking at these refs and I'll be like, yeah, I probably would have worked for half of what he worked for and done 1,000 times better of a job. But then sometimes I'll watch stuff on TV and see like, okay, that's how they're doing it. I'll try and look for things that the refs are doing, like maybe if he's doing hand signals, if he's doing like different times and like places where they'll give out the counts and stuff, tell how much time is left, and see like, okay, in NXT, this is the way they do it. They more so lean towards this camera when they're trying to tell them about this situation. If they want the match to finish, he'll go over it. He'll pan more so towards the stage side, so that way the cameras won't catch it when he's telling them the times. When he's going to tell him something towards like going outside of the ring, he'll back up more so towards like towards the back left side of the ring. Like, just different things you could find.
So while everybody's cheering and watching two opponents going at each other, you're paying attention to what the referee's doing.
When I was wrestling, I was paying attention to what the wrestlers were doing. It's a matter of you could watch things. When you get into it, I think this was Honky Tonk Man. When you get into wrestling, you have to stop looking at it as a fan. You have to start looking at it as if you're in the business or want to be in the business. So what we did was you could wear your wrestling shirts all you want for your favorite wrestler, but at the same time, how many wrestlers do you see wearing each other's shirts around town? Not really a lot. Like, occasionally when they have the new shirts come out, everybody are like, yeah, this is my new shirt, but who are you putting over? Do you want to be a fan of wrestling, or do you want to be on the same level as them and be an employee, be a worker, be a guy who's, hey, you got a paycheck? I got a paycheck too. Same name, same sign. But at the same time, what am I going to look like? Am I going to be a fan or not? So I'm going around now just checking things, seeing it as a guy who's not going to be a fan anymore, but a guy who wants to learn and will learn from any situation, be it good wrestling, bad wrestling. There's always something to learn.
Do you have any like a final word to like promoters, wrestlers in the independent scene, or just in general about Soul Train Nick Shin?
I went to a Bob Evans seminar at Pro Wrestling Magic, and he said set goals for yourself. And he said like set little goals, 2-month goals, 3 months, 4 months. And I accidentally finished all of my goals that I was supposed to have till the rest of the year. I wanted to work a main event. I wanted to have a big spot that just like went over extremely well, and it did. I got to work multiple companies, way more than I thought, from just working IWF only for 3 years, going on to Pro Wrestling Magic, ECPW, Prime Time, House of Glory, New South, and things like that. I didn't think I would do, so I'm reaching these goals. So I just really want to just go and work as many places as possible. My end goal is to say that I've worked for every company. So I want to work for Ring of Honor, I want to work for Impact, and I also want to work for WWE. Of course, not all at the same time, but I want to just be able to say that I've gone through all of these, find which one I like the most, maybe even go Lucha Underground or something like that, but just go around and have fun reffing because...
Even New Japan and stuff?
Oh, yeah, definitely. My thing is, if I ever went to New Japan, like, I would hate myself, but I would want to train there as a wrestler. Like, I know how hard it would be, and I know that it would just be nothing but shooting on me, but I dealt with Sean Donovan so I could deal with Japan. Yeah, take that, grizzled mother effer.
Well, tell us about the Sean Donovan story.
There's so many Sean Donovan stories. Nah, honestly, I can't stand that guy, but without him, I would not have been able to learn how to do anything in wrestling. Like, he continuously beat the crap out of me in a way where I should have just given up. A couple times he told me I should just give up. And no, it was just straight out like, you're never going to do anything in this, you're going to quit, you're going to wimp out. And in a way, I'm just proving him wrong all the
I
time.
was gonna say, do you think he was saying it maybe just?
I think
Push you,
that's exactly it, because now that after post-IWF, I think it's like one of those things where you see somebody every day and you can't stand them, and then when you see them less, you're like, they're not that bad. Now whenever we see each other, it's perfectly fine. Like, hey, I hate you, but I love you. And like, honestly, he taught me like how to sell properly, the difference between like selling like a cartoon character, selling like an actual person. Put me in so many holds, but showed me how to get out of each and every one of them. Like, he would stretch me, but he would definitely be the one to be like, yeah, I've done this. Do you want to know how to get out of it? Yeah, sure. And he'd be nice as heck about it. So back and forth, but love the guy.
Soul Train, how did you get that moniker? Was it from being an aspired singer, or how did that come about?
Okay.
Singer.
So he's all up in my water.
All right, Mr. Shin. We have for you some Bye Bye Bye. It's time for our karaoke session. You ready for this?
I feel like we're about to play Nintendo.
Oh, this is karaoke. You ready?
Hey, hey, bye, bye, bye. Oh, I'm doing this tonight. You're probably gonna start a fight. I know this can't be right. Hey, baby, come on. I love you endlessly. Now you were meant for me, so now it's time to leave. Hey, baby, come on. I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, baby. Bye, 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 baby. I wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in the game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie. Bye, bye, bye. Break it tough. I just wanna tell you that I had enough.
Oh, he's going all the way.
Might sound
You
crazy,
got it.
but it ain't no lie. Bye, bye, bye.
You want to go?
Hit me with the truth. I'm gonna go good too. So give me one good reason, baby. Come on. I good for you and me, and I really come to see that life would be much better once you're gone. I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, baby. Bye, bye, bye.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You can follow him at Nick_Shin.
Thank you for joining us. Bye, 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 folks. We'll see you next time on Conversations.
Book the hot dog, but it ain't no lie. Bye, bye, bye.
You going? He's going.
the credits are rolling.
I don't wanna be the loser and I've had enough. I don't wanna be a fool.
You're gonna do the whole song.
In this game for two.
Plasma, you got competition at karaoke, baby.
Behind. I don't wanna
You gotta hit the note.
be tough.